Hello, everybody. A little bit odd today, but hello. Yes, hello. Hello, Calais. Alari Luli Lolly. But yes, hello. This one's going to be a little bit weird today because in about an hour, I am going to have to go and get ready for a surgery tomorrow. That'll be fun. That's going to be all day. So, I kind of wanted to just get this stream out just to say that, like, hey, yeah, here's what's going to be happening. First things first, there's probably only going to be one video this week. It's either going to be Notepad talks about punk stuff, just kind of in a meandering thoughts, or I'm going to see if I can't get the brains video done. That's kind of the dream right there. I know what I want to write. I know how I want to do it. It's just writing it. It's just doing it at that point. It's kind of with all the timing and things. That might even come out much later. That might come out on like Saturday or something like that. I don't want to commit to anything this week really because I don't know what's going to go on. I just don't. That's kind of like one of the issues, is that I am kind of flying a little blind on some aspects. So that's fun. But yeah, I just want to get this stream out there to talk about there's a guild for that, and we're going to work on it a little bit today. Also realize that why are you like not where you need to be? Why are you the way you are, OBS? Yes. So I actually did a lot of work on there's a guild for that, and in the meantime, because I am always one for doing work unnecessarily. So if I go all the way down here, various bits, add some new artwork. This one came out really funny. There were some that were just amusing. Oh, wait. Oh, God. Oh, no. Good. Yes? Alright, that was weird. The volume completely spiked. Give me 1 second. I need to reply to someone because someone's asking about dungeon tactics. Psionic bolts are the quote default attack of the crystal ball. If you select later ones, that have the same only one psionic attack, may be active at one at a time. Time abilities. Looks like later ones that have the same only one psionic attack may be active at time abilities. Quote hide. There we go. Cool. Yes, this piece of art, this asset was actually very funny because there were some absolute bangers in it. Some very amusing ones trying to get this exact because all I typed in, the original goal was artwork of a fantasy warrior swinging a massive greatsword. It did its absolute best trying to do it. And some of them turned out really amusing, but this one, I have no idea why. Let me see if I can find, it gets comically larger every time. Now, this was one, actually, I'm going to bring up the initial one that I thought was funny. This was the initial one that I kind of based everything off of. Do you see an issue with this boy over here? Hey, oh, hey. Yes, hello, Kalu Kalay. For some reason, I don't know. Also, thank you for resubscribing. How's life? Hectic. Tomorrow I'm going to be in the hospital all day, waiting for my mom to get out of knee surgery. So, yeah, that's gonna be fun. Yeah, this is kind of a impromptu stream, being like, I need to get something done this week. It's just a knee surgery, so it's like, it's not really that big of an issue. But of course, I'm her son, so of course I'm slightly worried about my mama, because that's just who I am. But yes, this is, I don't know why this piece of artwork just amused me so much, but I love the implication that his arm is just the massive sword. Which led to more times of his arm just turning into a bigger sword. I'm like, alright, this is peak. This one ended up pretty reliable. Some of them just looked a little bit goofy. This one being especially so, which looks like it's a sword built on top of another sword. I went with kind of the safer option because I liked how the cape looked a little bit more. But welcome to relying on the magic internet box to create art for you. But yes, kind of going through here, combat styles. I also made our first sample character. This is really our kind of our example character going through everything. Let me send this man a peepo happy, just to make sure that he knows that I am a flagrant shit poster. Man, this is late, Unit. Generally speaking, heroes turn out pretty good. Like, if you really kind of focus on your main stat, you're going to have at least two. Most likely you're going to end up with two stats that are pretty good, and one stat that is not doing too hot. You know, for example, Leonid here. You know, he has a really high BAD. He's got a pretty good basic attack of 9, and he's going to want to build that up. He can probably do something upwards of like 18, 20 damage if he starts building up a lot more. His defense sucks though. If he takes any damage, he's only going to reduce it by 3, which isn't a lot, and he doesn't have that much health. So he's a little bit of a fragile boy. But hopefully he can survive the onslaught because he's got a shit ton of essence. Because intelligence is a little bit broken in that regard. Just a smidge-a-widgel. Because I find that funny. AI art? Yes, I use Midjourney for everything. Because I don't rely on artists. But yes, as you can kind of see here, stats are pretty reliable. Skills kind of made them pretty easy. Generally speaking, one of the big things is I chose his combat style to be focused, so he gets a little bit more BAD. So he's got actually 10 BAD. His basic attack damage is 10. Now we get to abilities. Welcome to ability design. I spent the better part of 2 days doing this. And generally speaking, this also turned out really well, and I don't know why it turned out well, but I'm okay with it. The basic concept of abilities is pretty simple. You're going to have a foundation. Oops, someone's pinging me again. You're going to have a foundation, and then you're going to start assigning keywords to it. That's kind of the basic concept of it. For example, in our exploration abilities, I might say I'm going to tie it to a skill of some variety. So if we're making something for Leonid, we're looking at, hey, he's got pretty good knowledge. Let's go up to his knowledge. So it's like, okay, we're adept, we're learned people. So I might make a skill that is going to be the knowledge base, but I'm going to say, oh, I'm going to put clarity on it. Cool. So anytime I use this ability, I can reduce the target number by an entire step. That's a few points. Not a lot of points, but it adds up. Oof. But early on, your first kind of ability or two, you can also add in these ones, which are deviancies. These are bad things. So, for example, I could put in something, I want to do this a little bit more specific, I can add in something like loner. So it's clarity loner. I can't actually receive any help doing this, but I reduce the difficulty. But because I've done that, I can add in another keyword over here. So I can add in focus, for example. So if I use this ability here, I reduce the TN by 1. I remove any fumbles. Remove one fumble. Remove one fumble, but no assistant. So he's pretty good when he's alone. If he's alone, he's going to be using that ability more consistently. It's like, oh, cool, awesome. That's what he wants to do. I do have a little thing here of like, if you want to do something weirder and kind of wackier, you're going to be making it its own keyword effectively. You know, for example, like, hey, the foundation is the ability to shrink himself the first, as well as the first keyword. That's your ability that you've given. You can only do it once, or you build up more charges for it. But they can also get more things for it. Combat abilities are the exact same way, except for just combat stuff. Your foundations, as you can kind of see here, are just combat actions. I'm going to answer that later. I'm kind of in the middle of something, JD, my man. JD, my man, kind of in the middle of something. But yes, you can be using this as kind of like your foundation here. So I could be like, oh, hey, I want to help my buddy out or something. I can do something like a purge. But purge normally has to be, it has to be within range. You know, actually, hero strikes target dealing no damage but removes a positive condition. I actually should condition from them. But I can also do something like, hey, I want to do this, but I want to maybe, I want to cleave with it. If I cleave with it, I can actually hit 2 of my allies with this. I can say, hey, I'm going to purge 2 effects from 2 different people. They can both try to oppose it, but I'm going bang, bang, purging different things. But I can also add in something else. Say, hey, it's going to be, you know, it's draining. It's going to require me to burn essence to do this. But because I did that, I can do extended now, where it's going to allow me to do it larger range. Certain one of these abilities can actually be stacked on top of one each other, so extended 2 is increasing the range by 2. Easy enough to understand. Hello, JD. What do you need? If Psionic Bolt is what the Crucible does by default, would it cost to... No, fuck off. Crucible does by the foe with the 2 APB attack with the ability active. There we go. Yeah, let him. Yeah, I'm a row. I managed to get into some fun games at Gen Con. Oh, that's nice. I wanted to go to Gen Con. I debated on it. I was very tempted to actually get a thing for it, get a pass. But because I'm relative, like the thing is, I'm relatively close. Like it would not be very difficult for me to get over to Gen Con. So it's like, maybe this sounds like fun. But then I'm like, oh, I forgot it's Gen Con, and it's like, most likely what I'll do, because there's actually 2 conventions around here that I'm going to be going to. Not as the Notepad Anon, wink. Gen Con a bad rap or something? No, Gen Con is, it's kind of the Comic Con of the tabletop sphere, and there's been some weird things going on behind the scenes with it that's kind of like pissed some people off with it. I'm apathetic toward it. It's just a lot of people, and it's like, hey everybody, you want to do all the popular indie stuff and the entire D&D section? It's like, oh. Oh no. But yes, as you can kind of see here, I did try to put as many as I could, as many keywords as possible. There's a fuck ton of these abilities you can technically pull off. One of the more complicated ones are things like, like Adrenaline Rush, which allows you just to fully clear conditions. You also get things like Overwatch. You may use this Reaction Foundation as for an ally in the same zone. There's a lot of these ones. I can't get too, if I want to be specific about things, I can't really get too exotic with them. And that is not like I'm bad at game design. It's more, I'm trying to make something that normally takes people years to make with a fucking degree in computer science, and I'm trying to make it in 2 weeks. It's like, oh no, Trying to get everything done at once is a little bit hectic, but that's half the fun, right? Other people on these MOBA teams? Yeah, exactly. I mean, like, let's see. How many people does Riot Games employ? How many employees does Riot Games have? Let's play a game. How many employees are at Riot Games? They have, according... Oh, they have over 4,500. Oh, no. Oh, no. Yeah, there's a few of them. But generally speaking, the thing that we really need to do at this point is advancement. Advancement's kind of the next big hurdle, then the GM section, which we just have to do enemies. Oh, God. Yeah, enemy, it's pretty much, how do you want to say this? Beautification. A little bit of more religious-isms in there, but hey, that's half the fun. Ugh. Oh, someone's calling people Noah. God damn it. People are calling each other Noah. We are not Noah posting. We are not Noah posting. Good God. Where the hell is this, and why is your notepad thing on Twitch the Chinese flag? That's my server. People are Noah posting. My glorious Discord server. God bless everyone who's in there. That's the Notepad 10 cents. Simple. That's the 3-month. That's the 3-month subscription. I believe you can remove the badge if you wish, but I find it funny. So have no fear, Lubu. You are directly supporting the glorious CC. Oh. Yes, 10-cent notepad was a joke I made like 2 years ago, and it's just stuck around. So, praise be to 10-cent notepad. All I'm saying, 10-cent, glory to Comrade Z and the People's Republic. All I'm saying, 10-cent, your boy Notepad Anon's willing to write the great Mandarin role-playing game. We can destroy the capitalist West using nothing more than role-playing games. Oh. Or TTRPG, I mean Chinese peasants, you can start the edition. No! I've actually been debating on how to do that. Like, how to actually make, like, a full-on, like, oh, this is approved by the CCP. The problem is, there is legitimately no good information for it, of, like, what can and cannot be actually stated. Because it's very arbitrary. And that's half the fun. So, beautification of the hero. Here's come with all, let's see. We want to do as the hero marches toward their inevitable as the hero marches toward their inevitable confrontations inevitable confrontations and glorious conflict, they will develop themselves into a greater being. The power given to them by Havoc and Harmony. Power given to them by Havoc and Harmony allow the rapid development of the hero's abilities. For rapid development of the hero's abilities. But it will always lead them into greater struggles against other heroes and their own destinies. At the end of every session, each surviving hero will gain one level, starting at level 1. At the end of every session, each surviving hero will gain 1 level, starting at level 1. Not only will they increase their stats, they will also increase a variety of other abilities. Actually, they will also improve themselves and their abilities. So, and this was actually a very specific thing that he said that he wanted, is that heroes level up fast. Every session you're leveling up. Thinking about how to do that, honestly, for a second thought you were talking about starving Chinese peasants. No! Kind of what I would have talked about with the Chinese approved tabletop role-playing game. Because in theory, it shouldn't be complicated. You pretty much, like, a vast majority of the, Chinese censorship laws and things like that really do boil down to, like, how do we want to promote Chinese glorious things. Hey, we want to do that. That's all it really down to. Won't have everyone leveling up every session make balancing a bastard and a half. Yes, that's the thing. But there's the caveat. There's a very important caveat, is that you're kind of supposed to be like that. You're not. this is one of those weird games where by virtue of being these characters, you're not really supposed to be balanced. You are a living entity of Havoc or Harmony in a one-way quest to die effectively. Or, you know, you're heroes. You are, whether this is a tragedy, so the exalted method, effectively, it's more about the situation the heroes find themselves in and the situation that they maybe can't escape. It's, you are fundamentally tied to the core you are currently pursuing, and because you're fundamentally tied to that core, you're going to have to kind of deal with the consequences of such. If you go into this and you've been empowered because you are a grandmaster thief, legitimately every single thing in the game is going to be plotting against you. The other heroes are also going to be gathering power, including those not on your side, because there's going to be people diametrically opposed to you. You know, it's kind of like thing if like everyone's playing, oh well, we're a bunch of master criminals and we're gonna break into the greatest sanctum of all time and, you know, save the world or whatever because we work for Havoc. Most likely there's going to be, you know, Dr. fucking Law, man of law, who's going to be like, oh, we have to now fight Judge Dredd, except Judge Dredd has the power of God and anime on his side. Fuck. Or, God, what was it? Solid of all fucking people was talking about Planescape Torment. It was... Fuck. I can't remember his name. Lawful good. Where was Valinor? Yeah, this is Valor. This is Valor. Valor is one of the Valor is one of the most funniest fucking characters in the original Planescape Torment game. He is by far the funniest fucking character. And you want to know why he's hilarious? Because he is the epitome of law. And it's hilarious with him because you encounter a character much later in the game who's effectively a fallen angel. He's like, I've repented for my sins. I've become so good. And I have so noble and just and all this bullshit. I've been redeemed. Valor will literally stride up being like, no you aren't, you little bitch. You still committed crimes and haven't paid for them. I'm gonna fucking kill you. And as the player, you have literally the option being like, Valor, he's redeemed himself. He's clearly a good person now. Or you can be like, not my fucking problem, and walk away. It is by far one of the fucking funniest things in the entire game. It is the best. Even though my boy Dakon is the best character. He is my friend. He is my brother. He is my man. Who is 1-to-1. He is my favorite character. So the Judge Dredd lawful good. Yes, but that's Planescape in a nutshell. Pretty much everything is taken to logical extremes and very odd. But Fall from Grace is my second favorite character. Never liked Anna very much. Morty can be annoying. Morty is fun sometimes, other times he's a little annoying. But Dakon is my boy because you have so many interactions with him. So, like, what character best represents the quintessential lawful good archetype that isn't stupid? I don't think there's, like, a quintessential character that does it, but I would say, like, if you want me to be, like, wink, wink, nod, nod, you end up with things like Aragorn, personally. Like, Aragorn does genuinely believe in good and nobility and all that bullshit, but yeah, it's Aragorn. He's a nice guy. He does good things for good reasons, and he goes out of his way to help other people. Can he be a little bit... He's like, yeah, I'm just a nice person. I am a hero. But yeah, I usually when people say, like, lawful good, I'm thinking, like, Aragorn. Because again, he believes in justice and love and all that bullshit. There was, God, what was it? Oof. Oof. Got myself. But yeah. How do I want to do this? So if we do this correctly, we go here. There's a guild for that. So I mean, if we do level, we get attributes. Attribute bonus. How do I want to do? I don't know, attribute. We do attributes, skills, exploration, actually ability, we'll just call it abilities. Attribute, skills, abilities, and trinket level. So level 1, 2, 3. We'll just do 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8, 9, 10. We'll just do the basic up to 10 as of right now. So attributes, we're going to have our baseline attributes. We'll just say base. Trinket level 1, 2, 3. If we do something like dun, there we go. So you're going to be able to get your level 3 trinkets at about level 8. After 8 sessions, you can do that, but can you afford them? Very different. Abilities, we're going to do combat, exploration, combat, open. Either, then it's going to go back to combat, exploration. Level 5 is kind of like our decisive moment, being like, yeah, you're getting kind of a good idea. Actually, I should do, main traits. Let me double check up here. Tell me more, I don't even know. Tell me more. 3 and 5. Yeah, 3 is... Yeah, after about 5 sessions, that's kind of like where you really want to kind of like, how do we want to do this? If we give everyone one attribute every level, if we do something like 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, but then we give people skills pretty consistently, so it's something like this. So you're going to end up with a lot more. Maybe we could give them. So we do 3, 6, 9, 12 skills by level 10, and then it just kind of alternates from there by exploration, combat, exploration, combat. Man, what have you done? I want to rewatch Lord of the Rings now. Hello, yes. We all love Lord of the Rings. Will you watch the uncut director's cut? Also, Notepad, do you read visual novels? Yes, I do enjoy visual novels. For a time in high school, that is like, I read an absurd amount of fucking visual novels. Like an absurd amount. I read Fate Stay Night, I read... let's see, it was Fate Stay Night. I went through the entirety of School Days because I thought it was funny. Pretty much every key game for a while. Yes, even fucking Clannad. Clannad with its 80 fucking million endings that you always have to get to make sure your fucking daughter doesn't die of super cancer or whatever. Good God. Like, you gotta remember, like, this is the funny thing. Like, the full combined thing of Fate Stay Night, if you read the entirety of Fate Stay Night, It is, I believe, as long. I think it's a little bit longer than the entire Lord of the Rings trilogy. Like, the entire thing. Because it's just so much shit to think about. And there's a lot of things that go on at once with it. I know it's some insane amount. And it's like, I did the entirety of that. Went with a bunch of really obscure shit. Just because I was really interested in it. Yeah, no, visual novels. I like visual novels. I actually have a few that I don't know if it would be like fun to like go through them on stream, because why in God's name would they be entertaining to go through on stream? Because they're visual novels. But I do enjoy vision novels. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Do you think actual play podcasts actually help people get into other RPGs? I think sometimes. Because the thing is, and I've talked about this before, the absolutely most difficult thing for tabletop role-playing people trying to get into new games is the raw intimidation value of opening up a new book and like, I have to learn all of this now? Oh no. Some people vibe with it a lot. Some people are like, oh, this is fine. I can do this. I can read this book. This is okay for me. But if you were to like say, hey, we want to run a new game. Okay, what game are you thinking? Oh, well, we'll play Heirs to Heresy. Cool game about the Knights Templar. Okay, you know how? Oh, it's 194. Oh, it's 194 pages, and you gotta learn all of this shit. Don't forget to do this. Oh no, oh god. I don't want to do it. Can we run it in 5e? I think that's the big thing when it comes to like actual plays, being like, you can actually see shit in motion, because there are actually some people, and quite a few people in fact, that just don't deal well with just reading something, or just like watching it and like just, I don't know. People sometimes don't get just reading something and understanding it perfectly. Other people need to see it in motion. Other people need to see it kind of visually. That's actually one of the reasons why Hello, wait. Miro AI. No, Miro, I don't need you. Stop that. It's... I didn't put it. Oh, wait, nope. Even level. Even levels, combat skill, exploration skill, yes. And I think a lot of times people look at some of these games being like, I don't want to learn it because I'm scared of it. I am, worried about it and I don't understand it. Do you think people could get better into games, put out pamphlets and condense things down to the most essential stuff? Fun fact, no. You want to know why I say that, Lubu? I say that because immediately people stop taking it seriously then. Oh, well, this isn't a real role-playing game. This is just a stupid little weird pamphlet. This isn't a real role-playing game. This isn't a real one. It's gotta be in a book to be a real one. Because, that's like one of the most complicated things. That's why I think like rules, like summaries, like sections are really good. But people have been, sometimes people go a little bit far on it. Because you get like Aegon, we went over on Saturday. Aegon has an entire section where you can pretty much learn how to play the entire game just by handing out the little it's you learn a lot by just getting like these like I'm like shoving it out, like I'm like making like a shoving motion to understand it, where you have all the rules on these handouts, and you look at it being like, oh well, this is barely a game, but you make it look like a game, you make it look like a very big one when it's really not. And that's kind of like one of the issues. It's called the pamphlet of zine Lamau. Exactly. But then it's people get annoyed. See, it's funny because if you actually look at a lot of these, like, oh well, here's my storytelling pamphlet zine, like people don't buy those, and it's like, oh well, why don't you buy my cool zine, my new cool pamphlet zine? And it's like, well, because it's like, yeah, that's great, we really support it, we're just gonna play 5e again because they know 5e, and there's a lot of things supporting 5e. And there's also a lot of people out there who want you to just play 5e. It's kind of this weird catch-22 in some, it's not a true catch-22, but it's like, to get people to play things other than 5e, you need to create something on par with 5e. But to create something on par with 5e immediately makes it so that you must now compete with 5e and you will lose. That's kind of the issue with it. And that's one of the reasons, like, when I do the videos, I like trying to like tell people as much as I can, like, here's what the game is, here's why you should play it, here's a cool idea for it. Hey, does this sound like fun to you? And I think I've got told a few times that I've gotten some people to try out games that they've never seen before. Because it's like, hey, I've never really knew about this. You know, thank you for explaining to me how the game works. Or, hey, I've been looking at this for a while and it just doesn't make any sense. And it's like, oh, okay, that's neat. I like it when it's like, cool, we're doing it. If we do something like this, so your combat abilities are going to be the one getting consistently the most amount of like work put into them, but your attributes and your core abilities, you're going to get skills pretty consistently, and then it's 11 up. Evens, odds. If we do evens, we're going to get +1 here. We're going to get 1 here. Odds, we're going to get 1 here. But we're going to get 3, and then it's going to be combat expedition. That's how we're going to. So I'm going to put it like this. Mucho texto. I think it's getting people to play tabletop games has always been like my core thing, my core belief. Because I really like tabletop games, and I like if more people were to play them. The problem is, a lot of those, how do I want to word this? A lot of those, like, groups that do, like, the actual play stuff, you also have to remember, they've shifted from, I want to teach people my game, to, I want to make money off of this now. You play it or play it to help wrap my head around it. Exactly. And there's a lot of people who do that. Let's not kid ourselves. I think you get like the actual plays because like a lot of people go into like how the actual plays were. Yeah, but the thing is you got games like Critical Role, for example. Critical Role destroyed like the actual play scene irrevocably. I hope Matt Mercer knows that. I really do hope that Matt Mercer does understand he destroyed the actual, like actual play scene by shifting what it's supposed to be. Because the thing is, for a while there, actual plays were literally like, here we're sitting around a table, we're playing the game, and we're supposed to be doing this, and it's like you can clearly hear the banter between the friends. People are kind of interacting with one another. Matt made Critical Role, and Critical Role had a lot of money behind it. Even early on, where it didn't really have that much money, these were all professional actors. And that was kind of like one of the big, draws of it. It was, hey, here's a bunch of voice actors putting on a show for everybody. And it's funny and it's fun. But the thing is, Critical Role got so big and people loved it so fucking much that people started trying to emulate them. People started trying to make their own. This is my Critical Role. This is my version of Critical Role. This is my version of it. And now you have things like Dimension 20. And he knows. People have told him that repeatedly. And Matt Mercer, that's why Matt Mercer has said something like, people aren't supposed to play like him. They know. And it's been a known fact that he scripts everything. That's like the funny thing you gotta remember. Like, chunks of Critical Role are not like them like, oh boy, I never saw this coming. No, they totally fucking did. They totally knew what was going to happen because they needed to. They had to, because if they didn't do that, what were they going to do? Like, if they didn't do that, they were not going to be able to. Where does it say he scripts stuff? It's been a known thing. If you go through like the history of things, mostly when it goes to like, usually when there's like a controversy or something, usually it'll come out where it's like, hey, we were kind of pretty planned for this, but we didn't really anticipate it. And if you really watch any of like Critical Role or anything like that, there are shit that happens, and the reactions from players and how things bounce off one another, they do actually script ahead of time. Now, mind you, I'm not saying you're going to roll a 16 now. No. It's the players ahead of time are going to know roughly what's going to happen, so they can now pre-plan it. They don't know really how we're going to get, like, it's kind of like one of those things of, you know what the beats of the scene are going to be, what the beats of the show are going to be. You have no idea what the beats of the, how we're going to get there or what's going to happen in those scenes. When things go sideways for them, it really goes sideways for them. Yes, but there's also a reason Matt pulls punches, and it's a known fact. Matt will pull punches, and he has, repeatedly. Or when characters go down and are dying, they will get resurrected. That was really bad in, I think the first half of the second season, I want to say. Because there was one where like they almost all went down and were like dying. One character did die, but then they just resurrected them almost free of charge. Because that's what needs to happen. Because, let me get a phone call. Give me 1 second. Yes. Yeah, but generally speaking, like, one of the things that's, I think, mind you, early Critical Role. Early Critical Role. I don't think it was scripted at all. I don't think there was a single hint of script. Or if there was a script, it was like Matt Mercer, like, going to his players being like, hey, we're going to be doing this at this place. This is how we're going to be describing it. Kind of get into the headspace a little bit. Cool, that's all you're getting. But I think when the money started rolling in and when there was a production company behind it, like, yeah, they're putting on a show. They know what they're doing. It's and that's why you can always tell, like, when everything is off script, things get weird. Things get really weird in that show when they're off script. Because what's happening is that they don't know what's going on, and then you get to see who they really are, which is to say, a bunch of bumbling morons. You get paid way too much money. Could actual plays still survive if they came back? It's not like they're gone. Like, here's the thing. It's not like they're gone, but people are now expecting, I wouldn't say higher quality, but people are expecting more from it than just 5 guys sitting around on a Discord call talking shit and playing a game. Like, you need to have something more than that, or you need to have really good chemistry, or again, you have to do what like RPPR does, which is play a lot of different games. Bring them up. Role-playing public radio. You kind of see that. They play a little bit of everything. There was another one I know who did quite a few different games, but like a lot of those like old school ones, they just don't kind of exist anymore. And I'm not saying that as a like these guys are all bad people who are bad. No. I'm saying that in the idea of like the money came in and damn straight they want to make the money. Like, no shit. Like, this, it is not, you know, it should not be, we should not punish these people for making money because that's what they're supposed to do. Like, if that makes sense. It's kind of like, I'm not going to blame Matt Mercer for doing something to make a shit ton of money. I would do the exact same thing. We kind of go odds, evens, odds. So starting building on. So we want to do. We're going to be doing like this. So we're going to be doing traits, attributes, skills, abilities. What we can probably do with skills, ability, and then we end off on trinkets. So traits. Early in their development, the hero will come into their own. Developing their traits allow the hero to explore different avenues of power, as well as exploit the power around them. Exploit their already heightening glory. During when a new trait is adopted, the hero will be able to tie abilities and imbued powers to it, as well as use it for judgments they find themselves. themselves in. If a hero ever feels like a trait no longer applies to them, let's see, if a hero ever feels like a trait no longer applies to them, they are free to announce such at the end of the session. They are free to announce such at the end of the session, changing a trait to reflect their new state of being. However, this cannot be a quote radical change. This cannot be a radical change, but only within but a significant change in the hero's original trait. For example, burnt out wizard. Actually, how do we want to do it? For example, if a hero is a grand artificial sorcerer. Let's see, if hero is an artificial sorcerer, but after some revelations in the story, they may choose to become the true sorcerer instead. A change in temperament or ability, a change in temperament or ideal, but not the overall concept. Pretty much the idea is like you can change whatever trait you want, you can change it. It just has to be kind of like within the same like reasoning. Like, hey, I'm an artificial sorcerer, but then you change it to I'm a burnt out sorcerer. I still understand how to use magic, but I'm just not. I can't really do it much anymore. Who the fuck? Next to him, Brandon Lee Mulligan. Fuck, do we know their name? Yeah, Brendan Lee Mulligan, otherwise known as the guy from College Humor. Refreshed and had stuff for 30 seconds. Diablo 4. The fuck would I want Diablo 4? It's got nothing to do with Diablo. Writing more simulation in this game by your KNS definition. Ever thought about writing more simulation in this game? I've written a few of them. I've not really found anything to be like, this is what I really want to simulate. That's kind of the issue there. It's like I haven't really found the thing being like, this is it. This is the moment. I've never down. And if I do find like this is the thing I want to really simulate, then probably I'll. I haven't really found anything to be like, it's time to be super autistic about this. Though, truth be told, Scala Maleficarium might end up being that way simply due to the fact that it's such a bizarre concept behind it. A hero will have the chance to well, let's see. They'll have the chance to improve themselves in the field. Let's see. The hero will have a chance to improve themselves in the field, allowing them to. Let's see. The hero will have a chance to improve themselves in the field, allowing them to gain additional attribute points. The chart above dictates separate amounts for attributes and the core attribute. Whenever a hero gains an attribute point, they are free to place it wherever they wish. wherever they wish, but if they gain a core attribute point, they must place it in their core attribute. This does mean that a hero will develop their core far quicker than their other attributes. Something that they must keep in mind. Something that they must keep in mind as they they fight to survive. Pretty much, it's kind of the idea is like your BAD is always going to be increasing. The amount of damage you can raw do is going to be building quickly. These other attributes, you can put them anywhere, but you can put them in their core attribute as well. So if you just want to say if you're just an agility hero, you can just dump everything into agility, and there's nothing wrong with that. But you're lacking your strength, you're lacking your vitality, you're not really increasing your intelligence at all. It's kind of like you always know your agility is going to be increasing. You always know that it's going to be happening. Like, what do I want to spend? What don't I want to spend to do this, though? Am I comfortable increasing my intelligence when I really need more agility? Is this the thing there? What does trigger your autism there, Notepad? It kind of depends. Something like the thing with like Scholar Maleficarum, for example, is the concept is so simple but so fucking bizarre that I need to go into it and be like, this is it. I need to learn to sorry, a little bit frazzled today. Pretty much what I need to do with Scholar Maleficarum is I need to write an entire magic system effectively from nothing, and then write an entire educational system on top of that. So it's like, okay, this should be simple enough. It will not be. It'll be simple enough to understand, but just kind of not. Would you say AD&D is simulationist? I think AD&D, the classic edition of AD&D, is K and S. It's K and S, not K and S. And I say that because, like, the narrative is kind of a secondary thing at best. It's all about, here's a game, here's a situation, how do you play these characters in this world? Because that's like my basic definition of what simulationist is all about, which is fuck the world, fuck the story, fuck the gameplay. It's all about being in that world. Even if something may not be fun, it's appropriate to the setting. It's like, hey, you enter the nightmare lands of fuckwit, you're gonna get corruption, because that's what happens there. And it's like, hey, Pendragon. Pendragon's actually very simulationist, because it wants you to get into the mindset of an Arthurian knight. And so nothing's really been triggering my autism in that particular field, really. It happens, though, and that's why I say AD&D really isn't simulationist fully. I say it's more of a game, hence kinetic, than strictly just like, it's just simulationist, because it's not. There are some things that just don't make any sense. But Gary was an autist. Dave was an autist. With their autism powers combined, they're like the Wonder Twins. I'd survive skills. Development goes hand in hand. The empowerment of skill with the development goes hand in hand with skills, allowing the hero to skill points gain. Increase any of their skills by the amount of skill gained. These points can be, let's see, can be freely divvied up. Can be freely divided among any skills, or dumped into a single skill, or put into, put into a single skill. These points are freely divided among any skills or put into a single skill. The maximum, the skill level, the skill cap. Actually, the skill cap, the skill maximum, the maximum of any skill, is 10. Maximum of any skill is 10, representing the peak of human, the peak of regular, representing the peak of development, in the skill, Should story events or situations allow the hero to actually, you know what? None of the peak of development in the skill. However, if a hero has an appropriate attribute, has an appropriate trait, they may increase a single skill to 11. They may increase this single skill to 11, representing supernatural ability skill. Yeah, pretty simple there, which leads to abilities. Here, rates, leech. Old school guys seem like you'd have that kind of autism to make games like D&D function fully back in the day of TTRPGs. Also, yeah, why do energy drinks make me want to Jarl? Energy drinks suck. I've never liked energy drinks. I have a friend who can chug those damn things like it's going out of style. I've never had an energy drink that I enjoyed. And anytime, like, I've been, like, I wouldn't say, like, fed wrong, but, like, I've been, like, handed, like, an energy drink without really knowing it. And every time it tastes like complete ass. Blech. Yeah. Oh, gee. Ugh. Oh no, why do people keep ghosting cringe? How do you know what ass tastes like? Because I've had an energy drink. Like, they are awful. Does D&D and a lot of TRPG not a lot of variance in roll results, like partial success or partial failure, goes straight to full path. That is a holdover from very, very long ago. Because the basic idea of a lot of those older games, you gotta remember, it was, you succeeded, you don't succeed. Very black and white on it, which personally I'm usually in favor of. I'm not usually a big fan of partial successes or partial failures or anything like that. My main reason being that your partial success might be not somebody else's, and that kind of leads to some overt variance in how results are going to be interpreted, which is one of the reasons I'm not a big fan of PBTA. It used to be war games, so it's either you do it or you don't it. God damn. But yeah, no. One day we'll go over the original Chainmail, because Chainmail is such a weird game. Because like, yeah, it seems quaint now, but then you look at it being like, yeah, this was kind of like a weird thing that doesn't exist anymore. Like, oh, all right, interesting. Abilities. Oh, we want abilities. One of the main facets of the hero that will improve is their abilities. Are their ability. Let's see, one of the main facets of the hero that will improve are their ability. Are their their abilities. Each ability, when a hero levels up, they will gain access to either a combat or exploration ability of their choice. A combat or exploration ability. From here, they can decide to create a new ability, master an ability. Actually, I should say, wouldn't be refine, would be improve an ability, or focus an ability. If they create a new ability. You'll go through the process of creating a new one, creating a new one. They must tie it to one of their traits. They must tie it to one of their traits, and they must tie it to one of their traits. But after they have created it, they will have one charge, and be ready to go. Improving an ability allows the hero to add a new tag. We'll be able to add a new tag. Add a new keyword to the ability. Add new keyword to it. This also is the time to add a new deviance. Let's see, improving ability allows here to add a new keyword. This is also time to add a new deviance. For a second additional tag. Every time this occurs, building up the improving abilities. Actually, a hero can improve an ability 5 times before it becomes fully mastered. Not allowed. You can improve an ability 5 times before it becomes mastered. When the ability is mastered, they gain an additional keyword, but can no longer improve or add deviances. They can no longer add keywords or deep to it. Next, finally, the hero may focus their ability. All this focusing adds an additional charge to the ability. Allowing it to be used more, used an additional time. allowing it to be used an additional time before needing to rest to recover, or burning essence to restore it. When a hero time before needing to recover, needing rest or burning essence to rest or use essence to restore it. When a hero has focused inability, has refined their ability, has focused down ability 5 times, it will become a passive. It will become a passive. It'll become a passive. Passive abilities can be used at any time, and let's see, passive abilities can be used at any time, as they do not have a charge, passive abilities do not have charge, and can be freely used. If the hero chooses to fully master and focus, if they fully master and turn an ability into a passive, it will become an ultimate. It will become an ultimate. A hero can only have one ultimate. You can only have one ultimate, but when they do, they add 2 additional keywords. They add 2 additional keywords and gain use even when its trade is locked. That's why abilities are a little bit weird, because they get a lot more things going on individually. So technically, by sheer technicality, it's going to take you 10 levels in one thing to fully increase an ability from 0 to 100. Oh wait, Onslaught. If I'm remembering correctly, what Onslaught is. If I'm remembering what D&D Onslaught is. Yeah. Okay. This is one of their. This is they're a little bit odd, but I can explain kind of like what they are. It's not a war game necessarily. Calling it a war game isn't quite right. It's a box combat game. It's games like Gloomhaven and things like that. They decided to kind of capitalize on it. They've actually put out a few of these games before, like D&D board games. If you kind of go here, fucking Dicebreaker. I'm not gonna give you fucking like fuck off Dicebreaker. But you kind of see like here, Tyrants of the Underdark. They're like card games. There's board games. Sometimes they have like weird little like actual like board role-playing games. They're not really supposed to be like full-on games. They're a little bit different. Sometimes they're a little bit odd. The entire idea is so small tactics stuff. Not even really that. Like, they're board war games. They're literally a thing. You bust out a board, you have like a little scenario book sometimes, and you like go through an adventure. You go through, quote, an adventure. You go through like the little scenario. It's not like a full skirmish game. It's a board game. It's a board game first, war game second, but they share DNA. You see these a few times. They used to be really popular back in the day. They're not as popular these days. But yeah, they're not They aren't not a war game, they aren't not a board game, they're kind of the same thing, but distinctly they are in the board game, like, category. You don't really associate them with war games in the same way. There's no lists or anything like that. Some of them do add, like, well, you can choose to play the warrior and choose, like, a special ability or whatever. Some of them do that, some of them don't. It kind of depends on the game. I've played one of them. I can't remember what I played, but I remember having fun with it. Trinkets. Let's see if I can get trinkets done. I'm gonna probably head off after this. Trinkets. Through trial and error, the hero will be able to refine their various trinkets into more efficient forms. At level 5 and 8, at level 5 and 8, they will be able to convert their level 1 trinkets into level 2 and level 3 respectively. This is done by merging two existing trinkets together. Let's see, this is done by merging two existing trinkets together and leveling both of them up by 1. The process cannot be quote undone, So whatever trinkets are merged, are merged permanently unless the hero purchases, manufactures, or finds new trinkets to merge together. There we go. Now the big thing here is, like, why is that even, like, important? Is some of the trinkets can be pretty good, you get more efficient abilities out of them, but the thing is it's taking up less space. So instead of, like, you have to take 3 spaces to get some minor bonuses, you can merge them all together and get a lot of bonuses out of 1 item, which is going to allow you to add in more stuff that you might need. But yeah, that's kind of the thing with trinkets. While I have a little bit of time left, let's see, can I get creative? It's that time, everybody. The time where Notepad believes he can be a creative soul and play with things. Ooh, that's not good. Oh yeah, no, that is not vibing. That is not appreciating my bullshit. I mean, if we can fit everything into one. I mean, if we do that, we can probably, abilities aren't fit, I think. I don't think ability, yeah, ability not going to fit. Unless we take abilities out and we replace them with trinkets. So we get rid of that, we get rid of these 3. And we instead roll X. That, do that. We slap an image right there to kind of do that a little bit. We can probably add in what I can probably actually no, I'll add a side note right there. I know what side note I want to add there. What we can do here is do that. Do that. Put it all into one page. We kind of slap all of this together. It doesn't look the absolute best, but this might be time for justification text. Ew, I hate justification text. Always looks weird to me. Then we put abilities onto its own thing. Probably slap an image right there. We'll put the side note right here. Okay, here's what we're going to do. Last moment side note, rapid development. If the GM wishes for a far quicker game, they may opt for rapid development, the rapid development rule. During rapid development, the even actually no, okay. Here's what we can do. We're gonna do the rapid development rules, and the rapid development rules are very simple. It would be level 2, which get your secondary. 1 to 3, actually, it would be level 3. Both. Technically, if we correctly. There we go. So this is gonna be kind of like the rapid development way of doing things. Like, you go really quick. You're pretty much getting everything at once. You're getting 2 attribute points a level instead of just the 1. But actually, what I could probably do is something more like this. During rapid development, the hero will gain far more attributes and abilities per level. However, this is only recommended for faster paced games or wanting to hit max level, or wanting to hit end game quickly. If using it, it is possible. Use this method to. It is possible to use this method to So that's kind of the basic idea here. It's just to say, hey, game players, do you want to just go really fucking fast? Not necessarily like, do you want to skip all the gameplay? No, it's more along the idea of like, this is understandably sometimes going to be a little bit slow at points because you're getting a lot per level, but you're not getting like an insane amount of stuff per level. And this is like, if you want to go really fast, if you only plan on having like 5 sessions, obviously you're only going to get it here, so maybe you want to go a little bit faster and get more toys to play with. So if you want to get more toys to play with, this is how you do. We can do like that. Element. There we go. We'll do something like we do that. We talk about abilities. We slap a big image right down here, and we are. Why do I get the image of you with a coffee and a tie that's slightly fucking disheveled look when you are doing this? Don't you know that is literally me every day? Lubu, that's just how I look like as I drink my coffee. I don't have a tie on though. Though I will say I love wearing sports jackets. That's my favorite thing. Okay, I'm gonna call it there. I knew this wasn't gonna be a very long stream, but we are done with advancement. I'll probably do some small fixie-uppies. If things go according to plan, we will try to finish this on Wednesday. If not, again, we'll play it by ear. I There might be a stream in the middle of the night just to kind of wrap this up. We really only have to deal with enemies at this point, but yeah, advancement's fully complete. Most everything else is in a good place right now. But hopefully everything goes according to plan, because that's the fun part. So I'm going to call it there. Thank you all very much. Godspeed, good luck. I will see you all on the flip side. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me in the Discord. I will try to answer them the best I can. Goodbye.